that is entailed in decades of death penalty trials, which are automatically given a retrial, and decades of appeals. They do not believe the event of an execution will ever bring them the peace and closure. They all hate that word. The closure that is falsely promised. Many murder victims seek a different kind of justice. They seek what is called restorative justice. They recognize, and this is a quote from one of them, "We cannot overcome crime by simply executing criminals, nor can we restore the lives of the innocent by simply ending the lives of those convicted of their murders. The death penalty offers the tragic illusion that we can defend the lives of persons by taking additional lives." And at this point, I really regret that Vicky's not here, because then it's not on the abstract level. This woman has walked the walk, and she speaks from the passion of this principle and also what she has learned in working with other murder victim family members. Our book, as Sister Helen emphasized, she said, work with people who live this issue. And many of the chapters of our book begin with stories of murder victim family members, right, who oppose the execution of the person who murdered their loved one and who work passionately to end the death penalty. Vicky, in the last week, just within 10 days, has delivered the votes needed for repeal. She met one-on-one. And some of the people who supported the death penalty came out and said it was Vicky's witness that transformed them, that now they are going to vote against repeal. So I think the voice of these people is very, very important. When we finish the book, since I was the person who started this project, I got to decide to whom would we dedicate the book. Where is it? And I think this was right that we did this. Vicki has the last voice. She ends the book. And we wrote, we dedicate this book to murder victim family members who focus on forgiveness and restorative justice in response to their deep loss and their suffering. Your witness fills us with hope. Right? And I asked Andy if at this point, Vicki was constantly in the press the last few weeks. And the Washington Post ran a series of articles on her and her husband, among other people. And they actually made a video clip. All right, so hopefully we can show it. We tried to show it at an event last night, and it had her talking at like a sub-baritone level, where she came across as having this tremendous gravitas. So hopefully she will be as she sounds.
You said it was the kind of heinous crime that the death penalty was made for. But Schieber decided she didn't want death for her daughter's killer, and today is working to abolish the death penalty in her home state of Maryland. There are just 5 men on Maryland's death row, a state that has executed just 5 people in the last half-century. But the state is the new front in the fight over capital punishment, and if Governor Martin O'Malley has his way, it will be outlawed this year. The energy pushing repeal forward is the passion of people like Vicki Schieber. To understand how Schieber ended up holding a bullhorn outside the State House in Annapolis, Maryland, you need to go back to 1998, when after the initial shock and anger of her daughter's murder, Schieber says she realized what Shannon would want.
My daughter was a person who was very involved in social justice causes. She thought, you know, there's a problem out there. What are you doing about it? What are we going to do to change this? So I knew nothing about this death penalty. And then it's like I kept hearing her saying, Mom, now you're learning about this. This is a terribly biased, unfair system. Look at all the people that have been exonerated. What are you doing about it? Now you know. What are you going to do about it? Well, I think I have to tell my story. I have to talk about you, Shannon, and tell them what I think you would have wanted us to do. And that is to get rid of this death penalty system.
You reached this position through prayer, or through reason, or through emotion?
Some people say, well, maybe that's saintly or something. You're very holy. I said, well, maybe it's selfish too. You know, it's the people who get so angry at this, and that anger just envelops them. There's high rates of divorce among murder victims found out. There's terrible unemployment problems. There's a lot of poor health issues because they wait for years and years. They're told that they're going to find peace and justice when they execute that person or when they, you know, sentence them. But they may wait 15, 20 years if it ever happens at all.
Instead, when Shannon's killer was finally found 4 years after the murder, justice, though not lethal, was swift.
He didn't want the death penalty, and we didn't want him to have it. We wanted life without the possibility of parole. But in 5 weeks, he was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. And we could let all that negative energy, that horrible feeling, that wanting to be angry, all drain out of our bodies and fill up with positive energy to do something to honor our daughter instead of waiting 15, 20 years or whatever it takes.
But that swift justice Schieber says eased her pain could actually become less common, according to one Maryland state senator, if the death penalty is taken off the books.
You know, I don't take a pleasure out of seeing somebody, you know, get executed. But the value is that it's a fantastic marketing tool. And
so stop. Okay, we'll stop it there. All right.
What I propose is, because we've reached 6 o'clock, and I know there's probably some students who have had other classes to get to, is we take a quick recess if people would like to leave. And then we could have questions and answers and follow up. And let me just say, and we'll applaud for Trudy here in 1 second. If you're a student who would like a professor to know that you're here, there's a sign-in sheet on that side. As you exit, you can sign in, and I'll make sure that the faculty know that you are here. And so please stay around for questions and answers. We also have the book up here for sale. And Trudy, Conway, thank you so much for your wisdom.
Maybe the whole league.
Well, we'll give him